We're live.
Welcome
Well,
to our special Paradise
Paradise
Downloads.
downloads. So we're doing a YouTube live and an Instagram live. So you might see us like looking back and forth. That's why.
Yes.
We love you and we're looking at you. We're paying attention. Welcome. If you're joining us, leave us a comment so that we know that you're live, and feel free to ask questions along the way.
Yes. Tell us where you're in the world if you feel called.
Yes, tell us where you're tuning in from.
So, what are we gonna talk
Me and Sonia have done Paradise Lives for a while. Like, we've been doing these for a couple of years, and these Paradise downloads, and we just usually kind of like go on and talk, and share, just share what's on our mind and share what's present for us. And so we hadn't been in the same place. You're in Florida as well. Welcome. We hadn't been in the same place in a long time, and we are both in Miami right now.
Yes. Well, I live here.
Yes.
but Kate comes through once in a while, and hi, Sophia.
Woohoo!
And I'm so glad because, I don't know, she's just such good energy, and I feel like we're always on like parallel journeys, and we like the same books and kind of are on the same like path towards more freedom. So and that's been like a big part of my journey recently, where like I feel like my coaching used to be about like feeling better because I struggled with depression, so it was always about like getting rid of the bad stuff and only experiencing the good. But then the path that I've been on, I've realized like it's about being able to feel all the emotions, right? The whole range, without the name and the judgment, because it's usually, if we label an emotion, for example, like anger, like this is anger and it feels bad, but if you remove the name and the judgment, then it's just like, if you close your eyes and you experience anger, it's just energy moving in a unique way. And there's no problem with it. You can experience all emotions as welcome, as pleasurable. So that's kind of like the path that I've been on recently.
Yeah, and it's so freeing when you're able to like release the judgment to emotions and experience them. Like, I often will experience it as like sensations in my body, and just like be fully present with the experience of the emotion without having to create a story around it. And we were talking about this the other day at the beach, like how it's like the story about like why I'm angry, or that anger is bad, or whatever we've been taught about anger, that makes us feel like even worse and like sends you on that downward spiral.
Right. Yeah, it's like your mind, for whatever happens externally or internally, it's like, what is this? What does this mean? It's like the three questions. What is this? What does this mean? And what do I do? Like, how do I respond? And it's constantly like asking that about everything. So a feeling shows up, and maybe it's not even, maybe it's not even depression, but a little bit of sadness, but it can be like, oh, I'm depressed and this is bad. And the same with like, not identifying with our thoughts. Like, because sometimes a voice will come in and say like, oh, like, I don't know, that client didn't sign up to work with you, and that means like you're a failure, or like you didn't do something right? So but it's just a voice. It's not like it's not you, it's not yours. It's just a voice that shows up, or maybe it's a video that plays some kind of like scenario that, worst case scenario. So just getting into a truthful relationship with your thoughts, with your emotions, with things happening externally, and just becoming aware of like the stories that your mind makes up.
Yeah, and I feel like me and Sonia have kind of been on this journey together of like being more present, being more in the present moment, being more present with our emotions. And then now, like what you were sharing, like detaching from like from the story, or from the identity that we have with that particular emotion or that particular experience, you know, and like it's almost like you get to pull back and like be the witnesser, you know. Some people say that, like, you're getting to witness yourself in these different experiences, you're getting to witness yourself feeling these emotions, but it's just you are the witnesser. You're not actually like the person quote unquote suffering. And even the idea that you're suffering is just an idea that we've been taught, like, this is bad, this is good, you know. And I think not to be morbid, but an example of this that's so prevalent in our society is like the concept of death, where like a lot of cultures would see death as like a rite of passage, this like thing that you celebrated, like the people are going through the portal to like the next phase of the journey. And even though of course you might have this like human attachment to them and you might miss them, it's not like this negative thing. And we've created a whole society that our like number one goal is like, don't let yourself get sick and die. Like, don't talk about death. Like, it's like the most horrible, painful thing. And like when somebody dies or even a pet or something dies, it's like the most devastating thing. And like everyone else just feeds into this story, you know? So it just makes it like this perpetual thing that like, if someone dies or if something happens, that it's gotta be like the worst thing possible, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, I just went through this with my grandma passing away, and you know, and I got to spend 2 weeks with her, a few days, and I left a few days before she passed, and yeah, and seeing it as, you know, from this perspective of like, you know, none of this is really real, and I know it can sound like kind of weird, right? But it's all a story, right? Like each one of our lives is a story. And seeing it from that perspective, and then with my grandma dying, well, the whole story around her being sick, you know, knowing that that's her story, and, you know, and then, you know, with her passing, not having that judgment that it shouldn't have happened. Like, I saw you know, how it happened perfectly because, you know, she didn't have to like suffer or be in pain for longer. So it was actually like, I was grateful that, you know, she didn't, but again, I mean, I know suffering is a story, but to her, like, it was, you know, it was very real. Yeah. And but coming to the realization that like no one actually dies, because we're all just, you know, we're all just an expression of source, or what I like to call true creative essence, and we are, you know, what's it called? Eternal. So,
like your spirit or your soul, or however you want to identify with it, is eternal and everlasting. So it's like, this is just a part of your journey, you know, like regardless of what you believe is going to happen once you pass, like this is still, we can all agree, just part of our journey, just a moment in time, you know? So that can be really like help you detach from all these stories that we've created that are just shrinking things down very small, like very small view, instead of seeing like more of a big picture view, but like pulling back and being the observer and seeing things on like a bigger scale.
Yeah, the mind is often very closed and like sees things from a very limited perspective, and so I lost my train of thought, but we also woke up at like 5 a.m. because we were taking pictures at the beach at sunrise.
And it was so beautiful. The sky was pink and it was so magical. And yeah, I think that something that like I want to convey is that I think is something that we've been going through together, is this idea that as we are connecting more with the present moment, and we're connecting more with like the observer, or like our like true essence, it's like we get to like every experience that happens to us in our life, like we don't have to like worry about it, we don't have to control it, we don't have to be so affected or impacted by like, you know, getting up so early, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be tired, like it's just an experience, or like this has happened and now it's ruined my day and it's bad, and like labeling it as bad or wrong. It's like we can just start to have experiences and they don't have to be like, as we release the judgment, like that is the ultimate freedom, you know, because you don't have to be attached to, I have to strive for this feeling or else I'm a failure. Or I don't have to strive for this state or accomplishment or goal or I'm a failure. Because when we first wanted to do this live, one of the things that we wanted to talk about was sort of the freedom that has come for both of us as we've let go of the idea of like goal setting and manifesting so much, like in our businesses and in our lives.
Yeah, and I'm just writing things down so that I don't forget. But no, one thing around this was like this idea of being tired, because I would always like judge it as like wrong, right? Like, oh, I'm so tired and that's bad, right? So now I'm kind of reframing my relationship with it, because it's like there's nothing bad about it. It's just energy, maybe a sensation in the body, maybe it's heavy, maybe it's moving slowly, but there's no problem unless, you know, it's the mind machine, you know, tells you that it's a problem or creates a story about how it's a problem. And actually I went through this kind of a few days where I was like, my sleep schedule, I don't know, I felt like I was like getting energetically upgraded, and like my sleep schedule was so off and I couldn't sleep much. And, you know, and at first it's like, okay, how can I get rid of this, right? Like, this is bad. But then like as the experience progressed, you know, it kept happening. It like wouldn't go away. And I was like, well, there's nothing bad about it. Like, I can just lay here and not sleep in bed, you know, and it's like, doesn't mean that tomorrow will be screwed up. All these things, like, I can just experience the pure raw experience of this without the story. So yeah, there's no problem with it.
Yeah, and like a lot of times, like I won't sleep a lot, and like some people are like, oh, you need to sleep more, and I'm like, but I'm still like working out and like having energy to do things. I'm still running my business and traveling the world, so why do we have a story like, oh, you need to sleep this amount every night, or else you're gonna be tired, or your day's gonna be ruined, or whatever? Because a lot of times that's just not the reality.
Well, the point is, yeah, to be able to experience anything with this truthful perspective without the judgment, and then there's not a problem with anything that happens in our lives. Again, coming back to like this non-duality, not good, not bad. I mean, you could call it neutral, or you could say that everything is, you know, is good, because again, when you have the perspective that this is not really real, it's a story, and you know, it's kind of like source or God or true creative essence kind of playing out these stories, like playing with itself, basically.
Yes.
So anyway, so then, you know, like you can kind of let go of some of the fear and control that like is so has been so much a part of my life. And then again, like this idea that if I haven't accomplished something, for example, in my business, like a certain financial goal, or, you know, the number of clients I work with, or if I'm not in the dream relationship, it's like I did something wrong, like I didn't do enough, I didn't like sign up for the dating apps, or I haven't gone on enough dates, or I haven't like networked enough, or all these things. Like we can, because, you know, like a lot of personal growth teaches us responsibility, right? Like it's all your fault in a way. Not in that way, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But it's now like from this perspective of like, this is where I am in my story, and it doesn't necessarily mean anything about me or that I made a mistake, that I screwed up. So I feel like it's just a very liberating place to be, because yeah, the self-judgment disappears a little bit. It's like, you know, Sonia is a fictional character in this story, just as if you were, you know, if I was reading a book about, you know, Sonia, and you know, and there's not a problem. This is where we are in the story, and I can't judge the story till it's over. So it's just given me a lot more freedom, and the transformation obviously is still taking place, because we have so much programming in our subconscious, right? And around these things, like, you know, I'm 36, so many years of thinking one way, it's all my fault, like I screwed up, all that self-judgment. But but yeah, it's been really nice to shift that and see that transform over time.
Not be riddled with self-judgment all the time. And
Right.
And I feel like with like a lot of the like manifesting, self-development, law of attraction kind of messaging is all about like figure out what you want, what you think you want, and then do everything in your power to achieve that thing. And then that will result in you feeling a certain way, or you know, like achieving something like success, or like and a lot of times I feel like the goals that we're going for are just things that we've been taught or programmed that we're supposed to do by like a certain age, or like this means that we're like adulting, or this means that we're responsible, or this means that we're successful, or this means that like somebody's created a bar of like this is how much money you should have saved, or you should own a house, or you should have this many investments, or else. And so it's all of these external ideas of what we think is going to make us successful or happy or whatever. But you can achieve a lot of them. And I feel like I got really good at manifesting. I got really good at like setting an intention and just like going for it. Like I would just bulldoze through things and be like, I'm just going to make it happen no matter what. Even if I don't have everything figured out yet, I don't care. I'm just going to go. And maybe this is my superpower and also my weakness. Because sometimes it would be very messy, but I'd get there, you know? But the thing is once I get there, it wouldn't make me feel the way that like I was told I was gonna feel. Like I accomplished the goal, the external goal, but I didn't feel like complete or like successful or like any of the things. I felt all the same range of emotions that I'd felt at all the other parts of my story, all the other phases of my life, that all those same emotions were still coming through. And really the only thing that has really allowed me to feel a sense of freedom, and not even the word accomplishment, because I don't think that's a great word. I think we should let go of even striving for that, but has given me a sense of inner peace, which feels better than accomplishment, is this practice of releasing attachment to the outcome and releasing attachment to where I need to be in the story so that I can feel a certain way. Because I found you can get to that part, you can do all the things, and you might not feel that certain way.
Yeah.
So you're kind of being sold a lie.
No,
Sorry to be negative about it.
No, but I've created, right, I've created that. It's not really me. It's source expressing itself through me, right? And even when I work with clients, I don't believe that it's me, the Sonia character, doing it, right? But that's how we talk. That's why becoming aware of like language we use is so key. But where was I going with this? I don't even know, but I got lost, and that's okay.
I got lost in the story.
I got lost in the story. What were we talking about?
Accomplishing goals.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a good point, but I don't mind. No, but also like, yeah, when we kind of drop the judgment of ourselves, right? That then we don't judge other people and their stories as much either.
Yes.
And just letting go of like the rules and formulas, like this is how it always works. Like even with science, like there are exceptions, right? Like even though like there are trends and there are things like how things usually work, like usually when you eat healthy you're healthier, but then there are the people who don't eat healthy and live a long life, and then there are the people who eat healthy and get sick. So like source can shape itself, or true creative essence can shape itself into any cause and effect technically. So anyway, letting go of like the rules and formulas, and even in my coaching, and I talk about this, like I used to be more like, okay, I know exactly, this is like the problem, this is, hi Cassie, this is the solution, and this is how it, should work, and it was very rigid. And now it's like that unknown, like, I'm like, I don't know how to resolve this. That's exciting, right? So anyways, that's been very liberating.
The unknown has never let me down. That's a Joe Dispenza quote, but I love it. Because It's true. the unknown is just the unknown. So like we don't know what it holds, and it's exciting. And like I think there's so much we're trying to be in control ultimately. Like is the struggle. I think that's where the pain comes from, the attachment and the wanting to be in control. And so when you're feeling depressed, you feel like it's my fault. When you're feeling frustrated, you feel like it's my fault because I need to be in control of the situation. But when you can just let go of this idea that you are even in control and you can surrender and let go, it's like that's where the magic is. And I believe actually in like if you study really any spiritual text across all of the religions or all of the like belief systems, like the core, if you really like distill them down, underneath all the noise at the core, it is surrender, because there's a power higher than you that is working through you. And if you can surrender, you can allow it to flow through you, and you don't have to stress about like if you're doing it right or wrong, or if you're happy or not, or whatever. You can just let the story unfold. Right. But like we are so like clinging on like this, like I need to control this story.
Right.
And I mean, I used to say like, you know, you can be the author of your own story, but I was the author of my own story for many years, and it did not make me any more peaceful or happy inside. It didn't. I'll just be honest. Like I've just been kind of breaking the news to everyone lately and just being kind of blunt about it, because I was like, you know, I've been really kind of promoting like manifest your dream reality, which do whatever you want. Like I'm not saying don't do it. Like I have zero regrets. I love my life. I'm super happy with like everything that's happened, but I'm also super sad sometimes, and I'm super like frustrated sometimes, and I'm super tired sometimes, and all the emotions, all the things. So it's like to be like, oh my God, I've accomplished all this, but I still feel this way, makes you feel like you're a failure.
Right.
Even though you manifested the thing or whatever.
Well, and yeah, this trying to constantly feel good and just narrow the range that you experience to like feeling good. It's Alicia. Hi, Alicia. Yeah, and just trying to feel good. I know you need to experience the full range of emotion, and you can welcome it when it's, you know, without the label and the judgment. So, and I experienced this too. This is what I wanted to say before. You know, I created my dream life in Miami near the beach, my coaching business, but then I'm like, oh, I kind of felt the same way, you know, as I did, you know, before in my corporate job in some ways, right? Or, and then I realized it's not really about, you know, like rearranging things externally. It's about like creating that inner shift where you can really actually be more, enjoy what you've created, right? So I believe it's an inner shift and transformation that needs to take place, so you know, it's just like banging things into place doesn't necessarily work. It's really been for me feeling, you know, and allowing myself to feel everything. That's been the most healing thing. So
yeah, being really present with those emotions. And it's like as I've dived deep into the emotions and allowed myself to be more present with like the full range of emotions, it's like I want to say the feeling, the sensation is like feeling more alive. Like I've just felt more alive just recently, since I've been really like committed to this practice of like really being present, really feeling like fully being present with myself. Because I think oftentimes we crave like emotional intimacy with others, and we don't feel like we're getting it. Another reason to be frustrated. And it's like, if we can be kind enough to gift that to ourselves, there's like an opening there. There's like an opening there, and it's like you get to start feeling what this life is really all about. You get to start fully living and fully experiencing you is like your expression of creative life force energy in this lifetime. You get to like start really experiencing it, and like that can stay with you through highs and lows and sideways. Like anything could happen. Like the car could crash, the house could burn down, someone could die, like you could win $1 million, like all the things could happen, and you could like to be able to be present with those feelings that get triggered by those experiences is like, to me, I feel like it's truly living. I would say.
Yeah, no, and actually I've been reflecting on this recently, how like really true measure of growth or success is really how you handle those challenging things, those obstacles. And again, it's not a very good story when only good things happen and it's always getting better and better and nothing.
Yeah,
nothing,
no one would read that book or watch
right,
that movie.
yeah,
They'd be like, okay, whatever. There's no conflict.
right. The conflict makes it interesting. So So yeah, totally, and also yeah, this richness. I experienced like the whole my grandma passing away and the funeral, and I felt it all, and I felt all the emotions, right? But it was less. It was again without that name and judgment that it's bad, and it does make you feel like more alive in a way when you can experience it that way. But it's not suffering, because like sadness can be delicious, right? Like we've maybe experienced, like when you watch a movie, right? Like you experience the full range of emotion, but the mind doesn't create stories about it because it knows it's a movie or a novel.
Separate, yeah.
So it's delicious to feel, or like on a roller coaster, you can feel afraid and all these different things, and after, oh my god, that was such an amazing story or experience, because your mind wasn't making up stories about how it was bad.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I think this is such a great way to be open to experiencing all of life, all the different facets,
all the layers, all the diversity of life.
So yeah, I don't know.
So
I feel like that's a good
message. I hope that this has left you feeling like no matter what's happening in your life, no matter what you're going through, like you can feel more alive. You can feel the richness of life. You don't need to accomplish anything new. You don't need to put pressure on yourself to be happy all the time and be more high vibe so that you can make your life better. You can start just being present with what's happening now. And that's enough. And like that is going to expand your reality to feel more. Mm-hmm. And I've been doing something really exciting in my Paradise membership recently, and I'm going to continue it. And I actually do like a guided practice where we go through like physically and mentally and emotionally and energetically and spiritually, kind of like through what's happening, like the sensations in the body, and just like starting to have like a weekly practice where we connect on Zoom and I like guide everyone through, and it's a little bit different every week, but it's been really powerful because I'm just using the tools that have allowed me to like stay with my emotions when they get intense, to stay present, to stay in my body, to stay connected to myself. And so I've been guiding people in my Paradise membership through that every week. And if you want to be part of that membership, we have a Telegram chat that we're connected with every day, and we have weekly Zoom calls, and we're working on that now, but we have different topics as well, and we do different workshops, and you get laser coaching, and it's super awesome. So if you're interested, you can go to the link in my bio and go to kateparadise.com/membership to learn more about that.
Yes, Kate is amazing at all that, and kind of what you said, that being present with whatever is happening, because whatever is happening is like required, and it's the perfect thing, and it's supposed to be happening, right? Yes. So it's the perfect thing that will move you forward in your evolution. So if as much as you can, not resist it, but and you don't know how it's gonna affect things, because again, our mind just has like a limited perspective. So but this is also a process to reprogram your subconscious mind, to reprogram your mind machine, because it has however many years you've been alive, it has that many years of programming. For me, 36. So so it's like often people want these quick results, which sometimes my clients do have them, and I have a group subconscious reprogramming session happening Monday. So if you want more info about that, reach out to me, or you can go to, I'll post the link to my story. And also I'm giving 22% off with the code Paradise on that. So that's happening on Monday, and that can cause like very quick shifts. Like I've had people heal like their panic attacks and intense anxiety, and like acne, allergies. So it can happen very quickly. But some of these things where we have so many layers of programming, they take time, and it's a process, which is why I always, tell people that it's best to work with a coach or someone you resonate with for an extended period of time, which is, I feel like that's where the real transformation happens, where you can develop the relationship between, you and the coach or the healer, the mentor. So I like to work with people for, at least 3 to 6 months minimum.
Yeah.
And I also support people over Voxer, which is a voice messaging app, which actually Kate introduced me to a few years ago. And, it's just for my clients being able to reach out to me, when they're struggling with something, and to get that different perspective on it. And because these things require repetition, you'll encounter the same kind of blocks, and to have someone support you through that and shift your view on it, or change your perspective, that can be so impactful. So anyway, if you're interested in receiving support over Voxer, you message me whenever, and I respond as soon as I can. So you kind of, it's just a really fun thing, and it's been so impactful when I've done coaching. I did coaching with Kate like 3 years ago, because I was going through a difficult time, and that was like right before I moved to Miami, and she helped me a lot, just to kind of figure out what I wanted in a way, and so I ended up in Miami, and that was a great experience. So it's so valuable to be able to just express what you're going through in a space that's non-judgmental, and that's what my clients always tell me, that I create such a non-judgmental space, and Kate is the same way, where you can just say anything and just know that you're unconditionally accepted and loved, and just that helps you just let go of that judgment of yourself. So anyway, that was
and it actually, they've done brain scans, and it can actually shift the neuroconnections in your brain to be just witnessed by somebody that's giving you unconditional love. And that's just not judging, and just like kind of a neutral, like open-hearted person that's not gonna say like, because with our close friends and families, we have a story with them, so it's so nice to have a mentor or a coach, someone that's like separate from your life. And also, I was gonna say, like, if you're really trying to shift your mindset and your beliefs, and you've had programming for so many years, having someone like where you can have a Voxer or like some sort of support group where you can reach out daily or week, a couple times a week, and just sort of get a new perspective on things, and just have that reinforcement, it is just like, it's how the quantum leaps happen, because it's like, we're just like in our day-to-day life, and we do so many things subconsciously, and we're not even like thinking about it, we're not even aware of it. And so to sort of, when you're starting to bring awareness to some of these things, like having someone to reflect back, like this new beliefs, like if you're resonating with this message and you like these beliefs, like we are here to help you infuse this into your reality. Like, this can be you can live by the beach in a beautiful home, like have everything you want, but there's something that's deeper. Like you can still have that and be unhappy. So like we're offering something that's deeper, which is like more of just the complete self-acceptance, the inner peace. And I think it can start with having a coach or somebody that can reflect that back to you, and somebody that's like already walking the walk, talking the talk, doing the thing, like committed to the work, because this is like our life. This is all we like think about, wake up, go to sleep, thinking about, breathe, eat, everything. So it's like, let us be like the light for you in your life, wherever you're at in your journey, wherever you're at in your story. Maybe this is the chapter where you start to like bring in some of that awareness and start to let go of some of that attachment and some of that chasing energy, and just start to get more into that surrender, like receiving energy.
I love that. And something I learned from this book called The Presence Process is like, true joy is being open to feeling everything and kind of like experience everything. That's true happiness, when you can experience everything. and feel everything and it not be a problem, right? So
yeah,
that's
because I
true
know
freedom.
like for myself, like I used to constantly be shoving down and suppressing and pushing down like not high vibe emotions, because like I was trying to follow the law of attraction, and I was trying to be like happy all the time so I could attract more happiness into my life. But all that stuff just got bottled up in my body. I never addressed it, and it just came out like in like waves, days and days of crying, depression, injuries, like all these things were manifesting in my life. And I was like, why? But it's when I looked back, once I pulled back, detached from the story and looked back, I was like, wow, I was shoving a lot of stuff under the rug for years and years and years. And it's going to live in your body until you allow yourself to feel it. So might as well start feeling it now.
Yeah, and we can help you feel /
Yes.
heal, because I feel
Feel
like
/ heal.
feeling is the key to
And
to
create
healing.
your paradise.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
thank you so much, Sonia.
Yeah, thank you. I just love Kate, and I love spending time with her, and I'm so glad when she's in Miami. We had a beautiful photo shoot this morning.
The beach was so beautiful.
Yeah, so reach out to us again, code paradise on my sessions,
And the link is in your bio?
yes, so if you go to my website, it's on there under my sessions, so you can go there. And
Monday.
or yes,
Subconscious reprogramming.
yes, the next group, subconscious reprogramming, is taking place on Monday. It's called Reclaim Your Power. And I do this session without connecting live. So you fill out the questionnaire, you answer the questions, and then I connect to your subconscious to reprogram, but we don't connect live. And I do it intuitively, so it's a really cool process. And if you have any questions, reach out, message me, and yeah, thank you so much for being here. We love you. Yeah, anything else you want to say before we wrap?
No. Check out the link in my bio. There's lots of fun stuff there.
Yeah, join Kate's membership. Yeah, I love that we can I love collaborating with Kate. It's always such a fun thing. So thank you very much.
Thanks for joining. We love you.
We love
We see
you.
you shining.